like anytime a restaurant tries to be a club, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It does not. How many lights do you have? 4 lights? That's not enough lights. It isn't. It really is not. How big is your bar? This big? Half of the table? Not a big enough bar.
Yep.
I even at one point someone leaned against the bar and it moved. I'm like, what the fuck is
That's not a good sign.
Not a good sign at all.
Yo, here's your intro.
Welcome to the Joystick Show. That was fucking exhilarating.
Thrilling as all hell.
Did you guys miss Joey? We missed
A lot.
We're here. We're here for a thrilling 165. It's
Correct.
your boys. We're all here. Bobby, Dylan, Joey, Jerry. That is Team
The
Joystick.
combo.
Jose's missing. You know what? Let's just settle that so people understand the gist. He's there. He's still part of the channel. He's just on hiatus for a bit, you know?
We should get a like a wanted poster, like a missing kid, like the milk carton.
Yeah, right.
But it's Jose.
What if he's been behind this the whole time?
That's gonna be the reveal one day. He breaks the TV in half. The TV that's totally not my mother's.
I feel like we just cut to the bathroom. He's just on the toilet.
Yeah. For what it's worth, actually, before we get into a whole tangent, Jose has actually told me. First of all, Jose has interest in coming to the Joystick Show at some point in I won't say the near future, but probably
At some point.
2024 looks hopeful, is what I'm saying. And then the second thing is, that being said, Jose is secretly a very creative person, and I feel like you know that. Jose has like at least 2 different ways of how he wants his intro to go back into the Joystick Show.
Nice.
So I find that hilarious, but we'll talk more about that at another time.
Yeah.
That being said, we're some creative individuals here. We get around and do this on a weekly basis, and it'd help us if you like this episode of the Joystick Show.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to Team Joystick,
Always.
and to cue you along, this is some of the shit that we're talking about this episode.
Yeah.
Looks
You
good.
know? Last episode, we had no fucking idea what we were talking about. This episode, we know everything.
Honestly, like it kind of worked out though.
It was a good one.
Surprisingly,
It was a good one.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
we were funny. It worked out.
As long as the funnies are there, that's all. The monies is there. That's
Yeah.
not true, but one day it will be.
It's not
One
true.
one day it will be true, gentlemen.
True for Jerry.
Lots of stuff to talk about today. I'm going to start off with, honestly, something I should have talked about like fucking 4 months ago.
Okay.
I want to review a show that came out a very, very long time ago. For clarity's sake, let me actually look up when this show came out.
I'm going to say August.
I think it was before that. It was definitely post-May. It was...
Yeah, it was a while ago. Right?
It was June.
Ooh.
We were in October.
Yeah,
so
we are.
I'm a good
November.
5 months off. But point is, I finally watched Secret Invasion.
Okay.
The reason I watched it in the first place is because The Marvels is coming out in November, like next week practically, and I'm very excited for it, despite what you might think about it. I think it's going to be a fun watch regardless. And 2, I didn't watch it because of how many people gave it negative reviews, and I was like, ugh, I'll put it off for a bit, right? So now that Marvels is coming out, I had to binge watch this, and I'm heading into Loki, which is about to end too, and I'm sure we'll lead into something else. But point is, I watched Secret Invasion, and before I get into it, I don't think it's as bad as people are saying. Do I think it's the best thing? Far from it. Right off the bat, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
That being said, to give you some clarity, I think the critics rated it at like a 52-ish% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience even lower in like the high 40s. So let me just say real quick what I think the show does well, and I'll tell you what I think it doesn't do so well.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I thought it was really cool to have like a Nick Fury standalone production. You know, he's been such an instrumental part of the MCU since the very beginning. Like, he's the guy who put the Avengers together. He's in like the most movies, I think, next to Wong, funny enough.
Wow.
But the point is, it was nice to have like a Nick Fury standalone, right? And the fact that it's like tied to espionage and this whole spy shit, it ends up working really well. By the end of it, I realized actually not how much I actually like Nick Fury as a character, and didn't really notice it until now, but also how much I like Samuel L. Jackson as an actor too. So I was like, damn, this guy's fucking... Because obviously he's great.
He's great.
For some reason, it wasn't until this show that I was like, he's one of my favorite actors. Like, it makes sense. So I thought that was really good. I thought his performance was great. Nick Fury's a badass. The writing is interesting. I don't think the writing is that bad of a thing in the show. Like, there's some stuff you can tell that they're fitting in cheesy one-liners every now and then. It's not as much as like, you know,
I mean,
Thor 4.
That's Marvel though. I mean,
yeah, for sure. But there's just times where like the context of the scene feels like it's really, really serious, and they try to break the tension, but it just doesn't. It almost feels like if it weren't there, it would be that much more impactful of a scene, you know.
Just make it dramatic.
But that being said, there are some really, really greatly written scenes in the show. I mentioned it upstairs. This is going to be a spoiler-ridden review, but you know, spoiler alert: this show's been out for 5 fucking months.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. It gets revealed that Nick Fury's been married like the entirety of the time. He's been married since like probably the late 90s or early 2000s. It's revealed that he's married to a Skrull, whom he knows is a Skrull. Skrulls are the shape-shifting alien race. Mm-hmm. Her name is Vanna, but she goes by Priscilla. And they have like a really nice scene where it's like a flashback scene where Nick asks her about like her favorite poetry. And she tells her that, or she tells him that one of her favorite poems is a dialogue between two people, and it's about like love. So she has him read it with her, and it's like this really tender like scene, and it's like, oh shit, like that's really sweet, not bad. That being said, I think weirdly enough, the strongest point of the show is the villain.
Okay.
The villain is this guy named Gravik. He's like, I don't know how to explain it. He's like this militant leader. Like he's kind of commands like a rebel group of the Skrulls, and he's trying to start World War III by pinning various terrorist attacks on America and Russia and all this stuff. But his demeanor, I think, is what makes him a really cool character. He's like that villain that's really laid back, you know? Like even the way he sits in his chair is very like slumped back. He looks up at people. But like in a second, he'll just snap and fuck you up. Need be the case. Like he needs to prove something. So he's like a hothead kind of character. But he's like really interesting. I thought it was a really good character. I thought the actor did a really good job, except for one scene where he says a line that just made me laugh. I don't know why.
Well, can you say the line?
I think it was something. There's like a scene. No, there's like a scene where he's like with a council like members or something like that, and he's trying to like assert his dominance because all of the rest of them want like peace, and he's the only one that wants to like stand up for it. And the whole scene, he's trying to do that laid back thing, like I mentioned, where he's like, but you don't want to stand up, da da da. And there's like this part where he's supposed to get like real riled up, and he slams the table, and he's like, "This is war!" But the way he pronounces it, he's like, "This is war!" Like he says it really fast, and they just kept it in. So it's like, "It's war!" It just made me laugh. Like it was pronounced very funny. That being said, you know, those are the parts of the show that I ended up liking. Here's the stuff that I didn't like, and probably what turned people off.
Okay.
I mean, right off the bat, it's a bit of a slower paced show, and that's honestly what I want to focus on right here. I think there's this perception that if a Marvel production comes out that has nothing to do with like superheroes, they don't want it. And I get it, right? That's kind of like the point of Marvel. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind that one, Marvel's the only production company to be able to pull off something like this ever, like where you have all these interconnected shows and movies. So that being said, not all of these stories effectively can be about these heroes all the time, because it will get stale. And as much as I hate to say it, sometimes these stories are necessary to fill the gaps between this big thing you want to do, right? Yeah. And two, it's a show. It's not a movie. So I feel like that cuts a little slack off of it. It's not like you're going to the theaters to watch Nick Fury in a spy thriller. Like that would obviously suck. That's why they made it a show. Just my point to get across there. That being said, I think if you look at it from just the perspective of watching it as a show, it's a good show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you kind of just take away the whole like Marvel stuff. Obviously, it's Nick Fury, but there's no superheroes there to cloud it. So it's just kind of like its own thing. So I feel like if you watch it like that, you'll kind of see what I saw. That being said, also as a fan of the comics, it being an adaptation of the comic was not good. So if people did, criticize it on that consensus, I totally get it, because they went in a completely different direction.
Hey, it didn't follow?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, it makes sense, because in the comics, the whole Secret Invasion story is really big, and you find out that all these crazy Marvel characters, heroes and villains alike, have secretly been these Skrulls the whole time.
Okay.
But in the show, it's toned down a lot, because obviously that would be some really crazy shit to reveal in a show like that. And in actuality, the only one in the show that gets revealed to be a Skrull is War Machine, played by Don Cheadle.
Okay.
But they don't reveal when he was taken over by a Skrull. But that's like the one big reveal. Him and this guy from the Black Panther movies, Ross, the white guy that like helps him out all the time. Like that's like the joke. The FBI agent or the CIA agent, the old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he's a Skrull too.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh.
So, and then in the comic books, it's like you find out like all like Spider-Woman, Skrull, like all these fucking people. So it would have been crazier if that were the case. So much so that I had all these theories going into the show back then. Like I was like, Star-Lord's a Skrull and fucking this person's a Skrull. But no, it's like B characters, low key. So I was like, you know. And then last but not least,
Oh no, not that guy.
last but not least, what I think actually really kind of shit on the show a little bit. So the show introduces the Super Scroll, which is the idea, or rather the character who's a Super Scroll that can basically take not just the appearances or likenesses of people who they come into contact with, but their powers as well, like all of their abilities. And at the end of the show, Nick Fury goes to this radioactive plant because the Skrulls are in there. They don't get affected by radioactivity, so they can live in these abandoned, like, radioactive places in Russia. So Nick Fury basically goes on this guy's terms, and Nick Fury is, like, dying of radiation. Like, he's coughing and, like, collapsing of radiation. Nice. And Gravik, the villain, is like, you really want to die, old man? Okay, sounds good. And he gets him this vial. I mentioned it upstairs. This thing called the Harvest, which is like a mishmash of all these heroes and villains' DNA from the Endgame fight. And he uses it on himself to get all the powers. But the big twist at the end is that it's not Nick Fury, and the thing with him, it's like a double agent Skrull that's pretending to be Nick Fury. So she gets the Super Skrull powers too. So the end fight is like two Super Skrulls fighting each other. And it's like, I swear I'm not even making this up. Like, there's a scene where she grows like a Hulk arm. She grows Drax's arm. It's just like so weird to watch. It's like a Mr. Potato Head action sequence of just like Groot arms and all this dumb shit. And I was just like,
Mr. Potato Head.
I was like, honestly, like there's literally a part where her arm
of She-Hulk.
Her arm is Drax's arm. Like the tattoos, the side. It's Dave Bautista's arm, but CGI'd onto her. So it's just fucking. I
wonder how long that took to create.
It honestly reminded me of the end scene of Free Guy, where like Ryan Reynolds gets like the Hulk hand and the shield. Like that's literally what it was, and it really takes you out of it. Because every action scene up until then are like legitimately rooted, firefights, you know, these terrorist threats, all this stuff, and then this last scene is like, boom, like Captain Marvel powers, and I was like, oh my god. So that was where it lost me a bit there. But overall, I'm gonna give it a solid 6/10, and in about a week or two, you can stay tuned for probably a double Loki and the Marvels review from your boy.
Whoa!
Because a lot of Marvel stuff is coming back.
A lot of it. That's cool.
Yeah. But Marvel movies are bad, according to a certain source. And, you know, I can only talk about them on my show. So that's what I'm here for. Yeah.
I'm going to start pronouncing it as Marvel, like
Marvel.
the cake.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel made another production, one that I've actually been waiting for Joey to fucking come back so we could talk about, because it's been a while.
It has been a while.
Game's been out for like, what, 3 weeks now or something like that?
No, 2 weeks, I think.
Is it?
2
It
weeks.
feels longer.
I don't know.
3? I don't know. No, it's probably like 2.5, because it came out like a Thursday, right, or something. Regardless, we're talking about Spider-Man 2. What a great game that shit was. Joey's not finished with it yet. So that being said, if you're playing it at home, this is a spoiler-free review. Not even a review. I just want to talk about some cool stuff about the game. And you know, starting off with stuff Joey and I can agree with. How about the fucking movement mechanics in this game, man?
That game is really fun to control. And I realized how fast you actually move, because a lot of people are showing comparison again to the Marvel's Avengers game they had.
Oh my god, that was so garbage.
And they were saying you're so slow not only as Spider-Man, but as even Iron Man. And they showed like Iron Man like
just strafing left and right.
Yeah, like slowly navigating the city. And then it cuts to this new mechanic that they added, the spider wings. And he's zooming through the sky. Like
literally across the Hudson River as fast as you can think of.
That was dope. I thought it was going to be stale with the web wings. I'm like, I'm not going to really use them. They come in the clutch so much.
Yeah, I've used the web wings more than in my whole playthrough. They're so fast. Not to mention you add in like the wind tunnels and all that shit. You could just get through all the burrows so fast.
I feel like that's a necessity now for like an open world type game. You need a movement mechanic that gets you everywhere. Like even like GTA, when GTA 6 comes out, it's gonna need something really fast, or else it's gonna be like a slog to like.
And that being said, I hate to say it, but Spider-Man 2's fast travel system has set a precedent for fast travel systems that I will not accept any other game's fast travel system. You fucking tap on the map. I want to go right here, and the game just it shows you going there. There's no black screen. There's no cutaway. Like I want to go there. You're there. It's fucking instant.
It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
This is
coming from someone who's played hundreds of video games, Dylan. Like it's that insane to me. Okay.
That's always an issue, that like you gotta wait through like a load screen or something. There's always
shit.
This is like low-key history in the making for that specific part of our childhood, like having to wait at a loading screen. This is the end of that basically. Like
that was supposed to be like the whole advertised thing with the Ratchet and Clank game, right?
And PS5, that was the whole point.
Yeah,
that
was
was
the
the
whole
whole
point of a PS5. We got what they finally
Even
said 4
Borderlands
years
3
later.
was supposed to be that shit.
It was just because of the SSDs, right? They're just like, oh, you load super fast.
Exactly. Fucking. And speaking of the load times, they actually made a comparison, and it's actually faster to swing in general and get through the city in Spider-Man 2 than it is 1, regardless of the web wings, and it's because it took longer for the city to load in Spider-Man 1. So there was a cap on how fast you could swing. So they kind of removed it or maximized the cap, so now you can swing even faster, which is even sicker. So point is, game's just super fun to play, right? I think actually one thing I didn't like about the game, it doesn't spoil much for you. Like, there's no stealth elements too much in the game. I feel like that was something that was a lot more present in Spider-Man 1. Like, the stealth moments where you're Spider-Man on the web zips and you bring them up. But in this game, like, you could just fight everybody.
You could. Yeah.
There's not really penalties.
The only time I felt stealth was applied if you do side missions, those like hunter hideouts, then you could use stealth.
You could, but you also don't. Like, you could just fight them all, which is what I ended up doing most of the time. In fact, it's funny you bring that up. Whenever I do those, I would try to start stealthy just because the game doesn't give you stealth stuff. So I'd be like, all right, I'll try. And then I get caught and be like, all right, I have to fight 60 people now. Fuck it. But point is, all they did is they kind of mitigated all the stealth shit to like the random Mary Jane or like side character stuff that you have to do, which is, I don't know if I agree with that. But point is, very combat focused, very movement focused. Obviously not going to be mad about that in a Spider-Man game. So solid. Story's great. I'm a little upset I can't talk about all of it with Joey.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do that to you. What I will say is there's a mission that I was teasing Joey about, or teasing to Joey about earlier. And while I can't say really anything about this mission, there's something really cool that happens gameplay-wise that shifts everything. But what really pissed me off is as it was happening, I was like, this is fucking sick. I love this. And I said to myself, I was like, this better not be the only time it happens. And it's the only time it happens. They never revisit once again. And it's like, come on. There's so much fucking potential here. And they don't do it. That being said, I kind of hope that a DLC comes out in the near future that might play with that a little bit, because if they do that, because one of the biggest cons I've heard a lot of people say, which I very much agree with, is the game is not very long. Not only could you casually beat it in about 19 hours, you can platinum it in 25 hours, even less. I did it in 23. So that's, and I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's really not. For a $70 like AAA title, like that's really quick. So I'm super hoping that not only the DLCs will be good, but that they'll be kind of like big and expansive. So
I have a feeling that the DLC is going to be big. It's good. They have to make it up.
I hope so. I hope that they make, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's even like sections of Queens that are blocked off that you can't swing to. So
yeah,
like, maybe they'll make those areas playable. A lot of open world games are doing that nowadays, where they just make new chunks of the map and throw it in there. So
I'd like that. Oh my god, I could finally visit my house.
That'd be fire.
We could visit our house.
It's gonna look nothing like you get mad.
Yeah,
we're limited to Astoria. That's all we got. So.
Bro, we can go do the podcast in Spider-Man.
You know what's crazy? Jose was at my house watching me play, and he was like, "Yo," because we were like in LIC, and he was like, "Can you go to the spot?" And we found the spot. It's in Spider-Man.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like the PepsiCo sign is a different one. It's something different.
Yeah, that's
but
the spot.
For reference, we don't hang out at the PepsiCo sign. There's a spot nearby the PepsiCo sign. That's how we found it. But blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck? They nailed this shit.
My cousin doesn't have a lot of... Well, when he was in New York, my whole family's in Florida. And I'm just doing... I forgot what I was doing. I was in the car, and I get my phone rings, and when I open it, it's my cousin sent a photo of me and him near that like memorial statue near Grand Central, I think.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
about. Yeah, and he sent it. We were like both mad young, and then the next picture he sent was it in Spider-Man 2, and he was like, it's the same fucking building. Oh, I'm like, yeah.
I live there.
It's the same building.
Oh, shit.
So, Bobby,
what's up, bro?
What do you give it out of 10?
Out of 10?
Give it a 8.5.
No, I think it's a solid 9.5.
Damn.
And what did you give the first one?
I think I gave it a 10.
I
gave it a 10. I think
So
the only
this is
reason
11.
I think the only reason it gets
It's just the content.
I think it's just the lack. That's all it is for me. If I just
it's just like
more,
1 point.
I just wanted more.
You pissed off a few people.
You know, I just wanted a little bit more. You know what I think it is? There's a lot of side stuff. There's collectibles and there's side quest, and not side quests, but there's like collectibles and these little like, other villain stories and stuff like that. But there's not really any side missions. It feels like both Spider-Man have like 5 side missions.
I mean, I get what you're saying because everything else is like, go here, fight this.
Like
there's not like a mission.
Yeah, like, find 5 of these and then you can do the last mission. But like side story stuff is like 5 each. There's like not a lot.
What was your favorite one
of the side missions? I mean, just thinking about it, there's obviously that one that went viral of the black man on the bench, which when I played it, I was like, I almost cried. I even mentioned it. I was like, guys, there's a side mission in this game that's way too emotional. Sad. That one comes to mind, but I don't know if it was my favorite gameplay wise. I mean, you're just looking for an old dude in Central Park. A lot of them.
My favorite was the blind woman that gets the guard dog. One of Hunter's guard dogs.
Oh, the robot, the Hispanic woman. I remember that one. I kind of liked, weirdly enough, the graffiti one. I don't know if you've gotten to that one. Yeah, that one was pretty cool. I like that one. But yeah, anyway. 9.5 out of 10. Great game.
You guys
stuff
play
I can't talk about it.
Spider-Man is
good. You have it. There's no fucking... I saw somebody was playing it the other day.
Rafi.
Oh, let's go, Rafi.
I was secretly because Jerry was like, I'm bored. I was secretly hoping he booted it up. Started swinging around. But you don't play open world.
Yeah, he's playing it right now, probably.
Oh, that's hype.
You said you had an eventful...
no. Imagine. I did
out of respect, by the way, I'm going to have a chip off screen because I'm so hungry.
Okay, go have it. Go have a chip.
A chipper?
As I watch Bobby devour these chips, congratulations to my cousin Matt. He got married. I love a good wedding. This is like the first like family wedding I've gone to where like I'm an adult, right? I'm like over 21. This is like a big deal. I like paid, gave a gift and all that shit. And I was like, I'm at a wedding right now. And man, like weddings are like a fucking intricate thing, man. Like the staff at a wedding goes fucking hard, bro. There's like 80 people. They're running around. They're throwing shit at each other. They got to get that shit done. But out of any respect I have to give, it is to the DJ at this wedding.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah.
Down?
Yeah, because the DJ at this wedding had a slight band with him. There was a guy with a snare and cymbals, and then there was a guy who had a trumpet and a saxophone and switched between the two.
Whoa!
Wow. So they're playing just the and can you guys guess what the songs were? Can you guys think of what songs they would play at the wedding?
I can imagine.
And if you can imagine the White People Get Turned playlist, that would be 100% correct.
A lot of Hey Ya.
A lot, Sweet Caroline.
I Got a Feeling.
Yeah. Actually, wait. No. There was no. I got
no
it.
Gangnam Style.
No, there was no. I got a feeling.
Gangnam.
There was a lot of dance hits. A lot of late 90s.
Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen.
Just a small town girl.
Regular Queen. We got fucking early 2000s Britney, JT.
Fire.
Yeah, and I saw my girlfriend who got super hype to this, like it was like a rock version of like Love Story.
I got you.
Yeah, it was like hyper, you know what I mean? And it was like I've never seen my girlfriend so happy, and then she ended it with "fuck Taylor Swift." But if you like the song, I mean, I think maybe she has to, check in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining Marianti starting a pit in like the wedding, just like marry me, Julia.
Yeah. But what makes it so exciting too is just that like I don't know, they played like basically his wife Angelica, she's Italian, so they played all the Italian bangers, bro. Only Italian it should be, like honestly. And then they got into like the Italian like electro pop hits, so the bass was like bumping.
Yeah. That actually sounds like
Italian electro pop.
Sounds like a
bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, not stereotypical wedding. But
I should have been your plus one.
Oh, you?
Yeah, we could have been like Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson in that movie
where they go
crash wedding.
Oh, I thought
I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, I thought they just went there. They were very civil and they left without causing any ruckus whatsoever.
They would leave at an appropriate time.
But yeah,
inviters.
And this was like probably
that's what it was. Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead.
And it was probably one of the hypest weddings there were. It was really beautiful. Everything kind of aligned perfectly. So then we all get back on the party bus at 1 a.m. They go back from the island in New Rochelle back to where all the hotels are. So as we're going back, they're like, "Oh, there's an after party at the hotel because at the bottom level there is a nightclub."
That sounds about right.
Sick.
So if you can imagine a nightclub in upstate New York at the bottom level of a hotel, it is the most garbage thing I've ever seen.
Anybody there?
Everyone was there, and it was 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we all got back at 1:30, and last call was 2 o'clock. So we were all just sitting there like, okay, I mean... And the club was like anytime a restaurant tries to be a club, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It does not. How many lights do you have? 4 lights? That's not enough lights. That isn't. It really is not. How big is your bar? This big? Half of the table? Not a big enough bar. Yep. I even at one point someone leaned against the bar and it moved. I'm like, what the fuck is
That's not a good sign.
Not a good sign at all. But yeah, I mean overall a good time and get married, boys.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And by that I mean I'm fucking single. You know.
Yeah,
Have fun on the relationship table.
Yeah,
Don't
relationship side.
I'm growing out the beard. I made a mistake. I'm waiting.
You're waiting for what?
To fill out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm not liking my own skin right now.
No?
You got like the military.
Yeah, hey, you're going, you know.
I shaved all mine
that's
for
fine.
a costume.
That's working out.
Okay.
Fucking, and then we found out Dylan's a fucking pool shark. What was up with that, Jerry?
Yeah, I don't know.
You seen what
he
I was
took
seeing?
all of what I had today. He just
It's like the episode of Drake and Josh, man.
yeah,
What do you mean?
the sleeves.
Picked up a pool bat. You know what I mean?
Oh, whatever. Oh, I mean, I feel like I tapped it when I was younger. In my me and my brother shared a room.
You told me about this.
Yeah, and in the middle we had a foosball table. But my parents got pissed because foosball's fucking loud. So then it was like, now you get a mini pool table. And me and my brother got really good at mini pool. And I feel like I just tapped into that. Because like we used like regular size cubes. It was just like, you know, it was actually a pretty good sized table.
I know exactly what you're talking
it had
about.
like
It's the game room
had like the
tables.
nets at the bottom instead of the pockets.
It's the ones that are like, they're technically the same size as like air hockey tables.
Correct,
But
yeah.
you just put the pool. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're not regulation pool tables.
No, they don't have
But they're
like
also
the
not
thickness.
like 99-cent pool tables.
But they're felt too. Like they're actually
legit.
they're solid.
Legit. The balls are like that big.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Come along, Joey. We do 2v2.
Yeah, you're really missing, man.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Dylan beat me twice. I mean, if I'm being fair, I beat myself twice, but
Hey, that counts. I'll
counts.
take it.
Dylan did beat me twice. Scratched on the 8-ball because I'm so good. Nothing like running out 5 balls in a row and then beating yourself.
Yeah.
No, I'll come.
I gotta learn that backwards shit. I can do it. I
It's
haven't.
not as hard. I always tell people.
I fucked it up last like 3 times I did
You
it.
just gotta,
So.
like, you gotta practice it. The whole thing is like, it's weird because it's behind your back, but
So,
since
yeah.
you're still looking at your hands, you can control it perfectly.
Yeah.
You just have to keep.
I feel like my arm
Your
just
arm
does
is
some-
just not here; it's here. So you
Yeah.
just have to keep that in mind.
So I'll
But your hand's not moving. Like you're still keeping the bridge
I'll
straight.
get crazy with the wrist.
You have to work on your bridge. I mean, granted, you're hitting shots, so if it works, works. But
Yeah.
your thing is, like when you shoot, you play a closed bridge, which is fine. That's good. That
Yeah.
means that the cue goes through your fingers instead of on top. That's how I play open.
Yeah.
But how you should play that is you have to take these 3 fingers and rest them flat on the
Yeah.
table, and that gives you.
'Cause at least
what you do is you keep your fist up like this.
Yeah.
and
At least I
back
got
is rock.
this flat. Like I was at an angle for the first
Yeah.
game, and then finally I got it down.
Yeah.
And now I just have to do the finger thing to keep it balanced.
But it's about keeping that as flat as possible.
Yeah.
That's open. That's closed. That's end of table. And then there's more. That's like above. It's hard.
One in the stink.
Yeah.
One in the stink, baby. Yeah, we lost the ball. That ball
Yeah,
was
the
gone.
table just ate it.
Glad I didn't get taxed for that.
Oh,
Not that it
my-
was our fucking fault. It was just
Yeah.
stuck in the table somewhere. Usually you can find it in like the framework or
Yeah.
something, but it wasn't in there.
Yeah, I dropped one and it just fucking got eaten.
So
Right.
sorry for that 5 ball. You'll find it though. Yeah, you gotta come through. It's a fun time.
Someone just stole it.
Gotta buy a break.
I'll come next time. I've just been backlogged.
Yo, how was Florida, bro? How was the horror nights? Ooh.
That was fun. I was worried it wasn't going to be as enjoyable because there was long lines already formed. I paid for like an early pass. The event starts at 6, but I got a ticket that lets me in the park at 3, and I can explore the park and get on a few rides before they shut everything down by 5. And so they made us form a line, and they said, all right, if you want to go through this house, make this line. If you want to go to that house, go make that line. And I low-key was kind of annoyed. I was like, wait a minute, like, before they just kind of like put us in like a stadium, like a show hall, and when it was time, they let us all out.
Yeah.
It says now we're forming lines. Like I said, I didn't spend $30 to wait on the line, like just to be like one of the few people to wait on a line before they open the park to wait on the line. But it was actually when they opened the park, they said we put all you in this area because that's the closest to the place you want to go to, and we want to make sure you guys get there first before anyone else. Like if there's a guy that's like sprinting his ass off,
fuck you!
You just dikembe Mutombo's ass. You're like, nuh-uh.
I'd love to see that conversation. How do you want to play the $30 early fee? Nah, I'm gonna bring my running shoes. Trust me, I'm gonna make first it. On that line,
I'm gonna make it. Oh shit!
You see that guy sprinting through university. Oh shit, bro! How was The Last of Us?
I was about to talk. Yeah, The Last of Us was the big highlight of that this season. One of the houses was inspired by the Last of Us game, and not the game.
The show.
It wasn't the show.
That's what it is. It's not a game, Joe.
Oh, it's not a game?
No,
I could have sworn it was a game.
It's just a show.
Okay, my mistake. The show. They based it off the show, and it was really cool. Like, it wasn't really as scary. It was kind of more just like theatrical. Like we saw the subway.
They set the scenes and stuff like that.
They set the scenes perfect, and I'm just like amazed by. I'm like, holy shit.
Did they do like the overgrowth thing? Like everything was overgrown?
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Everything, the leaves were flying around. They would shake, making you think that there's something there.
Oh, that's cool.
Because you gotta remember, this is Universal that's doing this shit. It's not just
It was really well fucking done. I think I have pictures. No, I don't have pictures. But the house is on YouTube. You can find pictures.
Nice.
Yeah. And the scarers were either the hunters, the people attacking Joel and Ellie, and then clickers. They had a bloater, like a big ass bloater, came out from around a corner, and even Joel and Ellie themselves were like people that came out of corners and like scared the shit out of you. I was like, oh shit, Joel,
that's cool.
What's up?
You think the FNAF one is coming next year?
Everyone was hoping that it would come this year, but instead they chose to promote The Exorcist Believer, which was also a pretty good house. Really good.
You went to go see the movie for that, right?
The movie was also really good. But I think the one I had the most fun in was the Stranger Things, the latest season of Stranger Things. So that's what you guys don't watch.
They do that often though.
They've
done that several times though.
Yeah, but one of the biggest moments in the previous season that just passed was there was an introduction to a character called Eddie Munson, who was like the metalhead. He was into like rock music. And a lot of people just like fell in love with him. He's just like such a like dope character. Okay. And at the end, he was like a high school dropout. He was like left back twice. And at the end, he gets sent to the Upside Down, and they find out like these like bats are sensitive to sound. So he brings his guitar to the Upside Down and plays Master of Puppets by Metallica. And it's such a sick scene of him playing it. It looks like a metal album cover because the upside down bats are flying around him.
Nice.
He's playing and they're all like dropping, and they've managed to recreate that scene in the fucking house. That's fucking cool. Universal, man. I was going through that. We go through the whole season of like what's been happening, all the scares, all the scary areas, and like towards the end, you go through the Upside Down with a 360 screen like dome, and it was of those monstrous bats flying and dropping.
Oh, that's cool.
And in the middle was both the scarer, the actors for Dustin and that new character on like a trailer home, and they're playing the song. And I remember looking at them, and me and my cousin Joaquin and Tatiana were all screaming like, "Yeah!" Like that's we thought that was so sick, and they acknowledged us. They were like, "Yeah!" And they were like screaming with us, and I was like, "That was dope." I left that house. I was like, I'm glad I went through that house. That was the dopest house.
That's sick.
As a fan, you know how hype that moment was. They brought that hype moment there. You were in that hype moment, and I was like, that's sick.
Nice.
And the food was all right. It was mostly just like sweets and popcorn. There's no nourishment but liquor. Yeah. It was just like, hey, look, liquor. Every time I was like, I just want a pretzel.
I mean, it's hard to make food spooky, you know, but it's like, ooh, it's a glowing beverage.
I'll take a spooky churro any day of the week.
Bro, I would eat a spooky
churro right now. Speaking of, can we order food?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
What do you guys want
to
order?
order food while I talk about this last thing I want to talk about?
No.
What are we ordering?
Let's figure that out right now. Any specifics? I'm down for whatever.
I'm down for pizza.
I want something weird. No, I'm joking.
I don't want Taco Bell.
All right, Taco Bell's out of the picture. What's next?
Wendy's?
What time is it?
I don't know.
It's 9:30. Go for it.
That's a risk, but I'm willing
to take the risk.
I'm willing to take that risk, maybe.
For people who don't get where we're at, Wendy's is a risky pick for us. They either fuck up the order or don't deliver it at all. So, and it sucks because Wendy's is good. So.
It's not good. They got rid of the pretzel sandwich.
Upsetting, I will admit. That is very upsetting.
Fucking mad
No,
about
I was gonna say
They'll bring it back for a month, Joey. It's okay.
I was gonna say these Brooklyn Nets, Dylan. These Brooklyn Nets that are playing behind you.
You mean the dancers you're talking
the
about?
Brooklyn Nets that were literally down, no joke, 12 points like a minute ago, and now are down 3 points.
These guys fucking try, you know.
Yeah, honestly.
Like the NBA is full of athletes that only play 60 of the 82 games.
No,
half the time. There's a bunch of there's a player named Jimmy Butler who we love. Mm-hmm. He's a player. The first 30 games of the season, it looks like this guy does not care about his life. Doesn't even care about basketball. And then the second half of the season, he's like one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Every time. But these guys try, so that's nice.
I'm just imagining like a guy drooping his head, like walking back and forth. Like when you say he's not caring,
Yeah, he's just like,
so he's just drooping his head back.
He had like a emo haircut before. He was like,
every year for a
emo.
media day, he comes in with something else. So a couple of years ago, he came in with like braids.
Now we're like down to his hip practically.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is it stays for one day, and then he goes back to his regular haircut. But that picture stays the entire year.
So every time they show the lineup, it's that. You play NBA 2K, it's that photo. He has like a nose ring, a lip ring,
He's
and
like,
like
he has
they
wearing
have to-
eyeliner.
They have to change it. The 2K has to change it every year for him.
yeah, and it's like, oh, that's fucking bullshit.
This
again.
fucking guy.
But yeah, the
He's
team
in a
is
chicken costume.
really good.
They low-key remind me of like the 2010 Spurs. Remember those fuckers that were like always in the finals, always in the playoffs rather.
yeah.
But just the fact that they like all play well together, there's like it doesn't feel like there's any one shining aspect. Of
And
the team.
that's the thing. It's also how the team is built. It's like they basically took like the trades that they made and then just took a role player from every team, and you were like, all right,
and built a team.
Yeah.
Like shooters.
And they got rid of all the
defenders.
people we loved, but now they're on other teams warming the bench. So.
But if we're being honest, like all we really had was shooters. We just had shooters and shooters and shooters. We didn't have any rebounders.
And now
we've come back so big in that.
And now all of those guys are now good at shooting threes.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
we're good now.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with the team. I'm very excited to see the future that is in store.
Happy to
for
see them
Brooklyn.
live.
I'm very excited for that. I think my first game is I think it's the Heat, but I don't know what day it is. But I'm excited for that.
Pussy
And
boy.
we definitely have to go see them live together.
Yeah, I'm down to go, man.
Definitely.
You already going? We gotta go more.
We gotta go, 100%. We should actually look that up after this. We'll look at the schedule, see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'm down.
Jam, yam, bam, slam of the week.
Yeah.
Let me do a quick perusal.
I do not remember what I've been listening to.
You don't?
What is music, man?
I can actually go.
Oh, I got mine. I think mine is it's a K-Tronada song.
Ooh.
Hey.
It's called
boy.
Puff La. It's on the Bubba album.
Puffla.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Sounds fun.
It's a good album in general.
I'm gonna go with. So Halloween just passed. I do not know why, but I found myself one night just listening to Halloween music. And when I say Halloween music, I mean like the Monster Mash and Ghostbusters and Thriller.
Okay.
So shout outs to Rock Lobster by the B-52s.
Oh my god.
I just kind of forgot how much of a banger that song
That's
is.
such
Rock Lobster.
That's like it's like the funnest song ever.
It's super fun, and those drums go hard, bro.
You want to know how? The only way I know that song. Family Guy.
What song?
Rock Lobster.
Oh, this song.
You know
Bird is the word is better. But
they revisit that joke a second time in like one of the later seasons, and it's like the lobster is Osama bin Laden, and it's Iraq lobster. The
Wow.
joke is the same exact thing, but it's Iraq lobster. And if you go onto Spotify and look up Iraq lobster, guess what plays? That scene from Peter Griffin just singing that song.
Amazing.
It's like an actual song on Spotify.
That's wild.
But Rock Lobster, not Iraq
Let's
lobster.
go. My yam of the week is, let me look this up so I don't fuck it up. It is Some Kind of Cadwallader by Algernon Cadwallader. So they're like a really like underground like emo rock band, like Midwest emo, and they weren't on Spotify up until like 2 years ago. But now all of their discography. But yeah, just imagine like a math rock band, but the lead singer is on fire, like literally.
Like streaming or okay. Fire. Literally.
My slam is a cover of This Charming Man by the Smiths, but it's done by a norteño band.
Is it the Maria or the
the Easy. They're called Easy Band. So the Easy Band's cover of This Charming Man, it's a very traditional Mexican style, but it's the lyrics to This Charming Man. It blends so well.
Fire.
Is
it in English or Spanish?
Spanglish.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
I like it.
These charming.
I like it.
Let's go.
It's dope. You gotta listen to it.
I wanna.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Joystick Show, episode 165. We're gonna hop off this one so that we can finish ordering some delicious Wendy's.
Correct.
If you're watching, cross your fingers that we get that food because I'm very hungry. It's been a while since a lot of us have eaten.
Indeed.
You can fix that by liking this episode of the Joystick Show and subscribing.
Feed a child below.
Because you can give money to the Robert Rosario house, which is a house where I live at. It'd be really helpful if you could spread the shit like wildfire. Tell your friends. Tell your grandma. She'll love us. I promise. She's gonna think Dylan's the cutest thing she's
Grandmas
ever
usually like me. Man.
Yup. Grandpa's like me. And I'll let you think about that one for a while. Regardless, thanks for watching. I've been Bobby.
Dylan.
Jerry.
He finally ended one.
He stole my name, bro.
Yeah.